Computer running slow? Has your machine somehow acquired a life of its own? Or do you simply desire a deeper and more meaningful connection? Be one with your operating system. It's Arizona's computer guru, Mike Swanson, and his show starts now. Listen in, chat in, and watch live streaming at gurushow.com. Want your voice to be heard? Call in with your questions and riddles. The number is 520-790-2040. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome to the Computer Guru Show. My name's Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. 790-2040. If you want to be a part of the show, that's 520-790-2040. This entire episode is about hacking and security and the unintentional humor that can come of when you don't have a strong password, or maybe you use the same password for everything.
Yeah.
As an example, the leader of the Black Lives Matter movement recently tweeted that he supports Trump for president, endorses him for president, and somebody hacked his account and made that happen. And then had to spend the whole day saying, no, I was hacked. I don't know if I would believe him, really.
Well, he did have hashtag MAGA in it, so.
Yeah, so there's going to be a whole lot of talk about passwords and keeping yourself safe and two-factor authentications and, all the stuff that we frequently, almost always repeat. So.
Good day.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a good day.
It's going to be grand. It's going to be lovely. And you should call in, 520-790-2040. This is your free hour of tech support. You do what you do. You pick up the phone, give us a call. Like Jeff. We'll talk to Jeff. Let's go ahead and talk to Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
I'm great.
Didn't want to leave you waiting too long, man.
Hey, yeah. Perfect theme for my question today, Mike. I'm calling today concerning my daughter's email. Some of her friends sent her messages, hey, what's the deal with this email? Well, apparently, and this is going to some of her old Yahoo contacts from a Yahoo email that she doesn't use anymore.
Uh-huh.
However, it's not with her old Yahoo email account. It's something that whoever took over the account put her name and then at millicom.com.ar, and they're sending it with my daughter's name at that address to her Yahoo contacts. She could tell they were her old contacts, friends from years ago. So what I did was I deleted her old Yahoo account that she doesn't use anymore, but I'm wondering, what else do I need to do about this, I guess, and, B, what's the deal with millicom.com.ar and using her name? I'm not familiar with the .ar on the end.
Argentina. So, chances are they're not actually using that Yahoo account. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it if they're spoofing it, which is most likely what's happened. Now, they may have been able to obtain the address book from that account, but it's pretty unlikely that they would have been sending to that account, just because it's actually kind of difficult. There's a lot of security that's set up in place that doesn't allow you to send mail as Yahoo, as an example. So there's a list of that's the best way to put this. Email servers, when you are receiving a message, email servers talk to each other. And the email servers have a list where they say, this server is allowed to send via these IP addresses. All right, so anything that is sent as yahoo.com has to line up with a certain number of IP addresses, has to send a very specific code, as an example, along with that message that is known amongst mail servers. And all of those things put together is pretty hard to spoof. So the reason that they're sending as a separate address, as a different domain, is that they get to choose which servers they're sending from at that point. So as far as what you can do about it, nothing, really. There's really not a whole lot you can do at all about that, just other than, you tell everybody, hey, this address book is out there in the wild somewhere, and if it comes from this address, it's not me. And that's about all you can do in that case. And there's nothing you can do to prevent that in the future either, because it's all well and above anything you have any control over. Of course, the best thing is if you have old email accounts that are completely unused, you should delete them. You should kill those accounts. And if you are using them just infrequently, you still need to change the passwords often. So if you should be changing your passwords at least 4 times a year.
I will let her know that. And I'm assuming that they did gain access to that account at some point, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's pretty likely that they went in there and grabbed the address book. But given that Yahoo was such a terrible mail provider, there was ways that you could get in and grab address books without actually ever getting access to the account.
Well, that's not good.
To the mail itself. Yahoo is terrible at mail. They always were. And so if you have a Yahoo mail account, in my opinion, you should probably not have it. Notice I threw in the "don't sue me" line, but Yahoo is never good at mail, in my opinion, as far as I can tell. I never liked most of the free mail providers, especially during that day and age. Mail was still fairly new. It didn't have quite the security it does now. Really, if you want sort of safe-ish email, you're going to be going with one of the newer Microsoft accounts for Outlook.com, or you're going to be going with Gmail, something along those lines to have a decent, free, somewhat secure mailbox.
All right. Well, thanks for the tips. Appreciate the show.
Well, we appreciate you listening. Thank you very much. So thanks for the call, Jeff. We should take a moment to mention our sponsor, though, which is Perfection Auto Works. Look, no segue. None.
I know.
Normally we come up with something silly to say to segue into it, but none today. We're just going to tell you Perfection Auto Works is the sponsor. You should visit their website, perfectionautoworks.com. They're great. They do a 26-point inspection. They keep your car running in tip-top shape. And I think that you'll enjoy going down there and talking to them. I think they're great. I think they're wonderful. I need to go down there and get my brakes done. I keep telling Mike that, but I just don't have time. So, all right, I'll be down there, Mike. I swear. I promise. Anyway, listen to their ad. It's coming up next. This is Computer Guru Show. We'll be right back.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KBOY, Your technology guru, Mike Swanson, is answering all your questions one by one.
Yes, science!
So chime in with yours. The website is gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show.
So one of the things that we talk about often is that you should have strong passwords on all your accounts. You should change them often. You should enable 2-factor authentication on any account that you possibly can, because it's important. You know what the problem is? I just figured out what the problem is. Hold
Okay.
on. There we go. All right. I'm having a problem speaking today, and it's because I had the volume down too low on the monitors here.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, as the laughing fit that ensued during the break because of...
Problem solved.
Yeah,
There you go.
there we go. Anyway, so 2-factor authentication is important. You should have it turned on, which means that you go to log into a website, and it's from, as an example, a machine that is not you, somebody else maybe trying to log in as you. Then it'll send you a text message and says, hey, you got to use this code if you actually want to log in. If this is not you, you can usually reply to it in some way, and it will shut down the account.
Yep.
So
I've had to do it several times.
it happens often, all right, and especially if when you're people that are maybe slightly more in the limelight than your average user, people with a public presence, like the guy from the Black Lives Matter movement. But in his particular case, he had 2-factor authentication turned on, and someone used a bit of his social engineering trick to get his secondary factor, meaning that they hijacked the SIM card on his phone. Basically went to the Verizon website, punched in a few, digits, and basically managed to redirect his cell phone text messages to another phone. So that's a bit extreme, and I think most of us don't have to worry so much about that.
Right.
This dude's kind of high profile.
Just a little bit, yeah.
A little bit. However, it does expose a weakness in the system here. Right? We tell people to have strong passwords, change it often, use two-factor authentication, and that's great for all of your, password-protected accounts. But it still does not protect you from
people.
Well, protect you from a call center representative that has access to all of your information within a few keystrokes. And especially when it comes to cell phones, I think that there needs to be considerably more security involved on the other end there.
Yeah.
Your cell phone it's akin to, it's an extension of you. It's your brain. It knows more than you do about you. And it's really, I don't know, it's distressing.
Well, especially if you use it with social media and Office and mail and everything else. There's some people I know that literally only have the smartphone they just use it for a phone.
Right.
And in that case, they're not really going to have a lot on there.
Right.
But like for me, that would be very bad.
Well, I think for most people, really. I mean, there's a lot of people that, yeah, true, like Kent, he's the I only use the smartphone as a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not much of a texter, but phone's good. Google Maps maybe every once in a while, but I'm not one to download a bunch of apps and my phone be my focal point.
Right, but does it have your social media accounts on it?
It does not.
Okay.
It does not.
And you don't have like a banking app on there that you use or anything like that?
No.
I don't do the banking app thing.
So there's a lot of people out there that do use that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I use that stuff. Right. As far as it has, my current phone has all 5 of my social media accounts on it. One for Guru Show, one for Computer Guru, some personal stuff, other projects that I'm working on. There's a lot of, all of that stuff is tied together. All of the, our Office inter-chat, as far as our little messenger that we use for talking to each other at the various offices for Computer Guru. All of that stuff's on there. Auto logs in, so I don't have to.
I have 9 social media accounts just on my phone.
See? Look at you.
And that doesn't even count all the ones I'm actually on. So, but yeah, they're actually all connected too. So when I post on one, it'll post on all of them. So that would be horrendous. It would be really bad.
I think there needs to be more security when it comes to the cell phone aspect of this. The phones themselves, are fairly secure, especially if you've turned on all of the security features. You deal with device encryption. You make sure that all of that stuff is concerned. So if somebody steals your phone, sure, it's great. It may be safe. But how safe is it from somebody who maybe knows your phone number and can call up and basically convince someone at Verizon to say, well, yeah, I need to change this particular aspect of my service for my phone, or do a SIM card swap, which, of course, because the other phone hasn't been turned off, both phones will receive the text messages, and both phones will receive the phone calls up until a certain point where the old phone gets ousted. So there needs to be more security on the other side of it. Social engineering is the weakest point, right? You or any other human are the weakest link in the chain here. And the fewer humans we can have involved with that, or greater security, would be better. Not to mention that, if we remove humans from it, I don't think it's going to solve anything. People are going to find different ways to get around that. There's always a weakness point.
In this case, it was the human that gave him the access to the SIM card.
Right. Now, in my opinion, that means that it's somebody that had to know things about him, like his phone number and some other pertinent details, at least enough to convince the representative to change the SIM card. And I know that Verizon makes you provide an account password, usually a 4-digit code. Also, to have a talk with them. So I'm wondering if, it was somebody he knew or somebody who easily guessed his PIN code or got his PIN code from somewhere else.
Maybe.
Because that seems to be the trend right now, is everybody blaming everyone else for where the leaked data came from. Case in point, Twitter.
Speaking of Twitter accounts.
So Twitter is denying that they were hacked.
Well, of course they are.
And
honestly, I don't disbelieve them.
You don't disbelieve them?
I don't disbelieve
So you
them.
believe
I totally had a double negative there. Yeah, I kind of believe them. They claim that the passwords and usernames that were hacked were gathered from other websites that were hacked. And I can believe that because there's so many, like, for instance, my Twitch is connected to my Twitter, where it has to have the authentication with the password and the username. My Facebook is also connected with Twitter. I have a bunch that is connected with Twitter. So if one of those gets hacked, they now have my password. And
potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
This is why you change all your passwords often, at least 4 times a year. You use different passwords for everything. Get a password manager if you need one, and let it keep track of all your passwords. In fact, you can even have it generate the passwords for your accounts, and they are ridiculously tough passwords. They're not memorable by humans by any stretch of the imagination.
Which might be nice since easy passwords are going to be banned soon.
Yeah, Microsoft has decided that, and they've already started doing it, is that they are doing something called dynamic banning of passwords. Whereas if your password shows up on a most used password list, you will be instructed to change it. And you will not be able to set a password that appears on those lists. Which is good, which is great, which is fantastic, awesome. That's what I say.
We're talking passwords a la Spaceballs, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, if it's on that list, it's gone. And good for Microsoft on that. The others need to kind of follow suit on that. Make it so that your password needs to be more complicated than it is. Especially if you're using, like my dad. Yeah. My dad and his passwords. My goodness.
Yeah.
All right, I'm like, do you know who I am? Right? You can't have that password, Dad. You just can't. Right? It makes me look bad.
I know the feels.
Have you lost your mom?
Yeah.
Man, Dad, come on. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So, one day I'll get him to change his password.
No, you won't. I'm just saying.
Maybe public shaming on the radio is the way to go.
Maybe.
Right? Just be like, Dad, you're probably not listening because, you've got other things to do. But when you hear this on YouTube, right, you're going to hear that I told you to change your password because, what? Why?
Just do it.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't let your password be insecure.
That's right. I can't believe that. It's my dad, right? It's like, I am the guru. I'm the one that tells people change your passwords all the time. Have you seen how ridiculous my passwords are?
Well, it's probably powdered butt syndrome, dude.
Oh, what?
Just saying, powdered butt syndrome.
All right, what is this?
Your parents aren't going to listen to you because they powdered your butt one day.
Oh, is that what that is?
So they don't listen to you because you're younger and have less experience. So, that's powdered butt syndrome.
Maybe the next time that he goes, hey, Mike, my flight simulator won't work anymore. Can you come fix it? And I'm going to say, did you change your password? And that'll work.
Just ask him that anytime he asks you something like, hey, could you grab me a Coke? Did you change your password?
He doesn't ask me anything like that.
I'm just saying. It was a hypothetical.
No.
It was not meant to be literal.
Yeah, Dad, you need to change your password. And that goes for all of you, not just my dad, but to anyone's parent, right? If you are a parent, change your passwords.
If you're a person
right.
on the internet,
are we going to go ahead and expand that? If you're human and you are using the internet, change your passwords.
Yes.
This is not. I know a lot of people hear this and they're just like, yeah, whatever, I'll get around to it. No, log onto your computer right now and start changing passwords.
Well, especially like with the Twitter thing that we were just talking about. It was 32 million accounts. It's
Right.
not a tiny number.
Yeah, the total number of estimated of hacked accounts this year. It's 350 million accounts.
So the probability is that you have been hacked.
That's more than the population of the United States. So, yeah, maybe you should change your password. Get around to it, folks. Change your passwords immediately.
This segment of the Computer Guru Show.
Yeah, brought to you by
The public is berated for not changing their passwords.
Brought to you by one of the various password managers that are out there. If you want one, there's Dashlane. They're decent. LastPass, KeepPass. Who else? Who else is out there?
I don't know.
Do you know any others?
You named the ones I know.
Those are the big ones. Oh, RoboForm. RoboForm's also another one, but I don't know if I don't like RoboForm all that much. It's kind of a pain in the butt as far as the interface is concerned. But those first three, they all have free versions. You have the ability to sometimes you have to pay for it, but then you'd have the ability to have it run on your cell phone also, so that you didn't have to remember passwords on your cell phone. Yeah, there's tons of options here, and download a couple, or at least one at a time, because if you put more than one on your computer at a time, it becomes a gigantic nightmare. But pick one that you like and practice with it. Try it out with a couple of websites.
You don't want your information being leaked. That's the bottom line. Any information, banking information, personal information, you don't want it leaked to the public.
Yep, you're right. We're going to take a break. Give us a call, 790-2040. We'll be right back.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOI, The Voice.
Let's talk about two-factor authentication for a second, because it's good for you. Two-factor authentication is great. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. You should have it.
Yes.
It's the best.
It is, actually. It saved me a few times on my account, so.
Oh, man. Sorry.
Are you having a moment?
Yeah.
Should I let you have your moment over here?
I thought about doing a Trump impersonation.
No, please don't. There's so many of those.
I've never tried one, so I don't know.
Did you see Meryl Streep? Meryl Streep did one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How is she?
She painted herself orange.
Yeah?
Put white around her eyes.
She is an Oscar-winning actress. Was she able to pull off the whole Trump thing?
She really was, actually.
Huh, nice.
Go for it, man.
All right, so, no, I'm not doing it.
Thank you.
Maybe some other time.
Okay.
But two-factor authentication. I'm always telling people to get it. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic, right? You should get it. Now, what are you doing? She's over here showing me pictures of Meryl Streep painted orange. That is distracting to the show. Do you know that this is live radio waits for no man?
Or woman.
You know.
I'm just saying.
Human. That's right.
All right, so as you were saying, two-factor authentication is fantastic and great and excellent.
Right.
Moving on.
However, there are people, of course, trying to scam you on that, trying to fool you. So what they'll do is they'll send you a text message that says, hey, we detected somebody trying to log into your account. And you should, if you want to protect your account, you should reply to this text message with the code from the other text message you're about to get so that we can lock your account. And some people fall for it, apparently.
Pulling the wool over their eyes.
Yeah, do not send the code anywhere. This is how it works with two-factor authentication, especially when it comes to cell phones. You are going to get a text message that says use this code. Mm-hmm. And that code should be typed into a computer.
Yes.
Not back into another text message to a different number. It's pretty simple, right? Don't forward that message anywhere. Just take the code if you need it, and you know that you initiated it, because the whole thing will be on your... Stop being distracting.
I'm not doing anything. What are you talking about?
She's just entertaining Kent, that's all.
Oh, man. Tara!
I'm not doing anything.
Uh-huh. I don't remember where I was now.
Two-factor authentication.
It's a very simple process.
Right. So basically, don't forward that message anywhere. If you initiate the whole interaction with the website that wants the two-factor authentication, it's going to say on your computer screen, we're sending you a text message. Please put the code in here.
Mm-hmm.
If you did not initiate, you will never be asked to put a code in anywhere. In fact, if on a real two-factor authentication, it's going to say something along the lines of, if this is not you, click here. If you didn't initiate this, and it will just...
It stops the process.
Yeah, it stops the whole process for the remote end. So don't fall for any of that stuff. The same thing with Microsoft calling you. They don't call. The IRS doesn't call. None of those people call you.
They'll show up.
Yeah, they'll... Well, hopefully Microsoft's not going to show up.
Well, if they do, there's a problem.
The IRS might show up, but they're not going to send you an email, right?
Yeah.
That's just basically like, hey, can you put in your password here?
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No.
We just implemented that. It was pretty cool, actually. It's we log into our network,
Right.
and then a little screen comes up. You push call me, and they actually place a phone call to me. Then I press any key, and that allows me into the network.
Fancy.
Works well.
Is that for the other job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that and that's good, especially in your industry.
Yeah, we just did that a couple of months back. It's working well.
See, Kent works in the medical industry.
Medical
as an
industry,
IT,
so a lot of the ransomware.
Yeah.
right. Or have you been telling people at work that you know that other hospitals are being ransomed and
They're well aware of it, and I asked if our hospital had been approached, by outside, and we have, but they never got in where they could do any damage.
good,
So,
because that's ridiculous.
isn't it crazy?
Oh, can you imagine everyone's medical records being encrypted, and that would just be no good for anyone.
No.
At least not for that day. Anyway. All right. I don't know.
What? I didn't do anything.
You didn't do it
time.
this time.
Okay.
Last time you turned around and you showed your screen to Kent, but then I have this reflection of Meryl Streep
okay. Is that
staring
what
me in the
happened?
face in the glass, and I'm like,
I didn't mean for that. Sorry.
That was pretty funny, though. You have to put that in the show notes.
Okay.
To make sure it gets in there so
I'll
everybody
send
can
it to
see
Rob.
Okay. Kent, let's take a quick break, man. We're going to do a long segment for the next one there. So, I'm talking here. 790-2040. Give us a call, and you can be a part of the Computer Guru Show when we get back.
Pretty sure you said break.
Yeah, right now.
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus,
No!
Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030 KVOY The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Now, I don't know enough about the TPP, which is the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement that's been going around for about a year now. They've been trying to pass this along, and apparently Google is supporting it. But the truth is, I don't know enough about it to talk about it. So the only reason I'm bringing it up is that I will do some research this next week and learn more about this. And apparently it's a huge document. It's like reading a novel.
There's so much involved with this. It's not just the people that I found the complaints from against Google being for it was in the technology subreddit, but that's only 2 out of like 30 different areas that the TPP covers. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, so I am basically ignorant of what the TPP entails, and I will figure that out, and we'll get back to you next week on that. In the meantime, though, let's take a call. If you want to be part of the show, 790-2040. Hello, Marvin. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, Mike. Are you familiar with X10? Does that ring a bell with you?
With what?
X10.
X10. Not off the top of my head now.
Okay, well, that's an old system back in 1975 was when it started. Anyway, it has little modules, that control your lights in your house and all that.
Oh, X10.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, X10. Yes, I am familiar with the X10 setup, yes.
Okay, my problem. My pool light, 2 kitchen lights, and the pool, and, a 1 horsepower pool motor come on at 1 o'clock in the morning. Now,
Okay.
I unplugged the X10 module and the X10 RF receiver, which are they're the only things that I have that control these modules. And so I believe that it is my TEP meter that is giving me the problem.
You think so?
Yes.
The TEP meter giving you an issue?
Yeah. Anyway, let me just go on. Those signals that are coming in at 1 o'clock in the morning are not mine. At least I'm 100% sure. And so my solution was I programmed my little X10 module. It's a little tiny computer.
Right.
That to come on or to shut them off at 1:01 in the morning.
Okay.
So, they'd bang on and then they'd bang off. And so that worked for a while until I decided to reprogram it. And now that's my real problem because the laptop, which is an XP that I use to program these, only will run on that XP. It won't run on a Windows 7. The program.
Well, they do have updated versions of the home control centers for X10 that you could run on a newer version of Windows. So what exactly is the problem here, though? I mean, is that it is turning on, or it isn't, or what's the deal? You said that you programmed it to, at one point, turn on, but now you've programmed it to turn off at 1:01 in the morning?
No, it's getting a signal from somewhere else to turn on. That's my problem, because I have to be up at 1 o'clock to turn all those things off, or they run all night.
Okay. So, first part of this process, first thing that you should deal with is that the X10 control modules, they replace those old things because they use old unsecured transmission frequencies that go a very long way. So if you have somebody nearby with an X10, another X10 setup, or anything else that uses those frequencies, they're going to be able to turn on and off your stuff.
Yeah, I know.
So switch to a digital system instead of the analog system, and life will get a whole lot better. In fact, if you take a look at it, there's an entire industry built around the Raspberry Pi controllers for doing home automation, and they are awesome. And you can do all kinds of craziness with them, and they are digital, so that you wouldn't have to worry about interference from other devices. And a Raspberry Pi, brand new, costs $30. So, I mean, it's a pretty cheap system. And you can do a lot with it. It's worth looking into anyway.
Okay.
As far as the, what's causing that, who knows, right? The X10 setups, I mean, you have 10 channels to choose from on the X10s, so you could choose a whole bunch of different channels, or see if that alleviates the problem, put it on a different frequency.
Well, they're on, all of them are on different channels, but it's only those in the house that it actually affects.
Well, I'm saying that you should probably experiment with different ones to see if that helps with your random turn-ons. Because you have a bunch to choose from.
Yeah.
Just reprogram it for a different channel.
Well, anyway, I was trying to get the computer to work. Actually, I dropped it off over in Fort Lowell.
Excellent.
To see if you could fix it, but you say there is on the internet a program that will run.
An X10 control program?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's new versions of that. There's people still running X10s for some unknown reason.
I haven't been able to find one, though.
We'll help you look for one.
Okay.
Thanks for the call, Martin. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, if you've got one of those old X10 systems, stop it. Just get something newer. And the sad part is that, and I think one of the problems is that people invested pretty heavily in those X10 things back in the day. You know, like in the late 80s, where you could start when they started doing that stuff. And people spent hundreds of dollars on these little modules, and they are, I don't know, they're way outdated. And they're using frequencies that are public frequencies, which means that there's a whole lot of traffic on those frequencies. There's just signals flying about all over the place that turn things on and off. I remember seeing a friend that had an X10 system, and that lights and stuff throughout his house would randomly turn on and off because somebody down the street also had an X10 system. And it was just, if you look at some videos for the Raspberry Pi automation systems, you can do some really cool stuff with it because you can tie it into your cell phone. So when you walk up to the house, the lights turn on. You can give it voice commands. You can say, this one guy has a video where he says, hey, movie mode, and it turns on the TV, puts the DVD player on, dims all the lights, changes the volume for everything.
That's cool.
All at once. And it's very, very cool. So looking into a newer type of home automation may be the route to go there.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Might be a good idea.
Or you can continue to get up at 1 a.m. to turn everything off. I don't know. I'm guessing that just changing frequencies will probably help
so.
with that. All right, so Gawker Media. Do you know who Gawker is, Kent?
No.
They profess to be a news site, but they're not.
It's like the Inquirer.
Yeah,
Okay.
They're clickbaity articles, and they say lots of things that hurt people's feelings, and not just hurt their feelings. They're often libelous.
Yeah. Usually if I find an interesting, quote, air quote, article from them, I'll actually scroll past their article and go to their source and then actually read the real article that they're talking about.
Well, they are famous recently, and by the way, they own a whole bunch of different outlets.
Yes.
They're a pretty decent sized company, but apparently they could not handle the 27-inch pythons of Hulk Hogan.
Nope.
Right, so they basically posted Hulk Hogan's intimacy tape on their website, and were subsequently sued by Hulk Hogan. And Hogan won by
$140 million.
$140 million, right? And effectively bankrupted Gawker. And the only reason that this became news again recently is that there was a temporary injunction put on Hogan to not collect on that, because Gawker's filing a countersuit that says, whoa, if you take everything, then, the owner of this place, most of his wealth is in the stock of the company. And so they're feeling like basically they need to figure out how to reorganize his finances before they can allow collection upon the account. I don't think that's going to work out well for anyone, or at least not for Gawker.
No.
Those guys are going to, that place is done. And great. Maybe it'll get sold to somebody else, because it still has, value as a name. But that's what you get for going out there and just saying just terrible things with zero to back it up.
And using information leaks as sources.
Right.
They're one of those people.
Yeah. It's no good.
Nope.
So,
bad karma.
What I thought was funniest about this whole thing is that yesterday this was posted in our show chat, right, where we post links for things that we're potentially going to talk about this weekend. And somebody in the chat goes, that's funny, I don't see it on Gawker's website that they're filing for bankruptcy, because there was a link to some other site that was saying Gawker's filing for bankruptcy. And the response directly afterwards, that's because it's real news. You can't find real news on Gawker. And that's just beautiful response, and so true. And so a lot of these, there's a lot of these websites like BuzzFeed, right, which just irritates me to no end. And oddly enough, BuzzFeed, on occasion, like, has great stories.
Yeah.
And they actually do investigative stuff and are amazing, but it's so rare. The rest of the time, it's something. It's not only are they stealing content from other people, but the subject matter is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like 26 questions marshmallows have for graham crackers. What?
Yeah, it's random stuff.
It's really so dumb.
I think the most entertaining thing that they do is they have people from one country eat food from another country.
That actually is pretty interesting.
Those videos are awesome. But other than that, I don't go to BuzzFeed.
I saw that one where they had people try the Swedish fish.
Yeah.
That stuff is just terrible. It's horrible. I mean, you have to be fed that stuff as an infant to have a tolerance for it.
Yeah.
When you get older. But watching people try to eat that is just, and they had like Japanese girls trying American junk food.
Yeah.
And
Australians did. And
those are actually pretty funny. But unfortunately, that's a very small percentage of the things that like BuzzFeed puts out there. The rest of it is just, it's terrible, terrible content. It's not helpful to anyone.
And it's usually hijacked from another site that posted it several hours earlier. So, no love. Sorry, BuzzFeed. No love for you.
You should take a moment to go over to the Guru Show page and subscribe to the YouTube page.
Show us some love.
Show us the love, right? Because we've been taking a lot of these segments, and unfortunately, there's no ranty ones in this week, so there probably won't be anything going other than the main podcast.
I'm sure Rod has something lined up.
Well, Rob,
Rob's been.
He does what he does.
Yeah.
But go over there and subscribe, because that's where we're basically trying to take segments of the show and put them on YouTube and have them be available for everyone to see. Not to mention, there's some other news we're gonna talk about next week. Mm-hmm. And there might be a preview of that on the YouTube page this week. So if you subscribe, you'll get early access to some of the news that's going on next week. You can also support us on Patreon. You can go to gurushow.com/Patreon or patreon.com/gurushow. And you have the option to, I think, doesn't it work both ways?
I have no idea. I think just the second one.
I'll have to ask Rob. Anyway, patreon.com/gurushow, and you can donate as little as $1 a month, because everyone knows you have $1 and you've probably found this show to be at least entertaining, if not informative, and hopefully educational in some way. Show the love by giving up $1.
Give me $1.
Or else.
Yes.
Now, if you give more than that, if you give a certain amount, you can make Tara say whatever you want. And one of the people doing that is
Desert Pro Commercial Cleaning LLC, the best Tucson janitorial services. Find them at TucsonDesertPro.com.
We're going to wait until we get somebody to get you to say something terribly embarrassing.
I'm okay with it.
Give us a call at 304-8300 or visit azcomputerguru.com. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Computer Guru Show. If you did, please consider sharing it with your friends and subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. Your subscription helps us reach new audiences and expand the show in new directions. Please also consider supporting us on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can help the Computer Guru Show expand into a longer format, as well as support the production of new content for this channel. Links are in the description below, and thank you again. We'll see you next week.